remember so clearly. It seems like just the other day. We were two kids falling in love, but now we're full grown, baby. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
What's going on? Welcome
What
to
we have is
Toya
heaven sent.
podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today. Baby, what's going on?
Good, I'm good. How about you?
I am good. I'm good, man. It's another day. We're excited to be able to talk to you guys. It's been a couple of weeks in between our last, maybe 1 week between our last podcast, but we got some new equipment. We wanted to make sure everything was right for you guys and make sure you guys are hearing us good. But we're excited for a brand new podcast with you guys today. How you feeling today,
We
babe?
are excited. I am excited. We're doing good. I'm good.
Doing good?
I'm here. I'm good. Thank you to all our listeners for coming back again. Thank you for taking time to just coming back to our page, coming back to listening to us, letting us pour into your lives, entertain you a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, we're excited for today's podcast. We're not sure how long the podcast is. We always try not to keep you guys too long, but it's sometimes when we get to talking, it gets a little long. But you guys stick it out, and thank you so much for checking in with us and everything like that, man. We're gonna have a good time on today. It's been a good week so far. We got to hang out a little bit. We're gonna spend some family time tonight. My wife and my daughters are planning this. Was it family fun night?
Family fun night, yeah.
Family fun night. So
we try to do this at least once or twice a month when I have off on Friday nights. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a good time. I have no idea what they're planning, but I just know that it's gonna be fun. It's always fun.
Just gotta show up and have a good time.
Yep, show up and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly what we're gonna do, man. And I'm excited. It's been a long week of work.
Yep, long week, but we're here. We're blessed.
Yeah, we're blessed.
And before we get into it with today's show, though, maybe we could do a little recap on last show.
Oh, yeah, last show.
We did a fun 21 things for 2021 that we wanted to do. You were making fun of my list.
Hey, and if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you scroll down and check out our podcast last week. 21 things for 2021. And yes, I was making a lot of fun of her because I have no idea.
Yes, because my list was simple, but meant a lot to me in a lot of ways. Yes, and you made fun of me for my list. Yes. But let's talk about it. Have you done any of those 21 things yet? Because we're about to be in March.
Well,
this year is like just going really fast.
It is, I know.
But we're about to be in March.
Yeah, we're about to be in March, and I did a couple of things so far. One of my things that I said I want to bless people more. Excuse me, y'all. I want to bless people more, and we're actually recording this podcast on a Friday, and today is Blessing Friday. And so last week we got to bless some people with lunch, and we're excited to do more today. Oh, side note, if you guys want to join in with this Pay It Forward initiative that we're trying to do and bless people, definitely hit us up, man. Hit us up. Our Cash App is AP Toya. So we're gonna continue to push positive vibes forward, continue to bless people. So one of my things on my list was to bless people more this year, and so I think a couple of them are down. Did you get to anything on your list, like hug people or something?
Yes, I've been hugging more, smiling more. I've been more present. All the things, all the little things. Hugging, smiling. It's a little cold outside. I can't swim yet. That was one of my top things. What else? I don't know. Take a little bit more time for self-care. That's been what I've been focusing on.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of self-care, so before we got started with this year, we kind of made these New Year's resolutions, and the one thing that we said this year, I said this year was the year of Toya. And so this year, I want my wife to really be empowered and be her best person ever. And that means taking better care of herself.
Living my best life.
Yeah, because we all the time, if you guys don't know my wife, she is one of the most caring people you'll ever meet, and so everybody else comes in front of her. But this year, I told her, I don't know what's going on with my voice, y'all.
Some water.
I know, right? I told her this year that I need her to take better care of herself. Not that she doesn't, but I need her to feel that she's important just like everybody else is. So
did you tell me or did you force me?
I forced you to because you got to force her to almost take care of herself. So this is the year of LaToya.
You made me sound so bad. I think a lot of women struggle with self-care. A lot of women that are wives. Yeah. I mean, I have this talks all the time with my girlfriends. I feel a lot of us struggle in this area. people that are wives, that are mothers. I'm just in a caring profession. Like, I'm always used to giving to others that sometimes I forget to really give to myself.
Gotcha.
So
No,
yeah,
I
it's
understand that.
a work in progress. I'm a work in progress, and yeah, the year of Toya, I'm excited about it.
Yep. So year of Toya, you should
Yeah.
make this the year of you. If you're used to putting people in front of your feelings, I know as parents, our kids always come first, our spouse, but sometimes it's good to take care of yourself too. So make sure you're doing your thing as well. What else was I gonna say, Boo, before we get into this topic for today?
That's it. Anything else that you've been working on? You had a pretty extensive list. Like, my list was very simple, things that I could just literally do every day and accomplish every day. Your list was pretty intense. Like, you had starting a business, like writing a book, trying to be a millionaire. Like, your list.
Yep. I ain't
Not even a millionaire. You just went straight to billionaire. Like, you're just trying to be a billionaire. So your list was pretty, deep. So
yeah, I got things to do, man. I'm not worried about it. I am
what
working
else
on my
did
list.
you? Because you just been giving away our money. But besides giving
Look,
away
if
our
you're trying
money
to
be
get
a
blessed, you
blessing.
need to be exactly. You're trying to get blessed. You need
You
to be a
trying to
blessing.
give away all my money? Like, yep, Toya got paid. Come on, let's bless somebody.
That is
Like,
not how that works.
what about when you get paid?
That is not how that works. But if it was just your money, I'd give a lot more out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You be
it's
trying to
mine,
bless
so.
bad people. I'm like, okay, maybe we could bless one or two, not maybe 3, 4, 5. But
Look, I want people to feel as good as
Yes.
we feel on a day-to-day basis. So that's why we do these Blessing Fridays and things like that. And sometimes people are just struggling, man. And so just if we could just give them $25 or $20 for lunch, sometimes that's just a blessing, because that could be literally. Somebody told me the other day, they were like, "It's so cool, what you guys are doing." I'm like, "Yeah, we're just trying to bless people." They're like, "No, what if that was like the only money they had? Like, they just put in because they had no lunch money, and you guys just gave them $20, and that made somebody's day." I was like, "Yeah, true." I didn't really think about it.
I've been on the receiving end of this multiple times.
Me
Like,
too,
I've just been
too.
in the line in the cafeteria, and for some reason, I don't know, the CEO of our hospital, somehow when I worked day shift, I would always end up behind him, and he would always pay for my meal. Like, it happened a few times.
Wow.
And just going to like Dunkin' Donuts, I went the other day, and a cop paid for my coffee and my meal. Like, I've received this a lot of times, so I know on the receiving end, like, how much of a blessing it is. Like, it really does. It really could make or break your day. So
Yeah, I told you the other day I was at was that McDonald's or something like that. I was at McDonald's, and a car in front of me paid for my meal, and I was like, "Wow, that's what's up." Realized it was one of my boys, but I didn't know he was in that car. But what I did was I turned around and I paid for the person behind me. And so, there's so much negativity going on. We decide we just want to bless people, man. And sometimes the smallest things can go a long way. And so, yeah, with all that being said, man, today's Blessing Friday.
Yes.
And you guys are going to hear this podcast, next week. But we, trying to get a week ahead. So that's where we are now. So.
God, you're giving away all this stuff.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is, man. People, they're going to hear it when they hear it.
Comes out, yes.
All right, so today we have an interesting topic, babe. What's the topic for today?
So today's topic is called the sweet spot.
Heyo.
So the sweet spot could mean a lot of things, right? So the sweet spot, we were talking about this the other day. I feel like I don't know I was kind of doing some Google research to figure out what's the technical term for the sweet spot in your marriage. But I just came up with the word sweet spot because it just feels good. It feels good. We're in a place in our marriage now, or a season of our marriage, where we just, like, it just feels good. It feels right. There's no, like, I mean, we have our fights and our days where it's just I can't stand you. Leave me alone. I need, like, my own time.
Right.
But we're just in a place where we just get each other. Like, we get each other. We make time to spend time together. We're having, like, our date nights. Like, I don't know. We're just loving on each other. We're going out of our way, like, buying things for each other, which I don't want to sound too materialistic, but we kind of just been loving on each other. Like, we're kind of like trying to outdo each other by loving on each other. We're just, it's just like some unconditional.
Yeah, it's not the material thing. It's just the act of doing it. You know what I mean? And so, so, I mean, we say it all the time because we want to make sure that, we've been married They'll be 16 years this year married.
16 years in July, yeah, and it took us a lot of years.
Those
to
16
get.
years was not all peachy and stuff like that. But so when we talk
Yeah.
about these things, I know some people are probably like, "Oh my God, they got the perfect marriage." This and that. 'Cause we've heard people say that to us before. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
we get
we
that. We
worked.
get a lot. I get that a lot. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like, how can you give me advice on this? Like your marriage is so good, your husband's so good to you. No, like we've been through the struggles.
We've
Like
been
we've
through
had
a lot,
years
man.
where we're just like, do we even want to do this anymore? We've
Yeah.
been there. We've been in that season in our marriage where we had to really consider like Googling like divorce lawyers and like we were there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we wanted to talk about the sweet spot.
The
I don't
sweet
know
spot, yeah.
if there's a better technical name for this. I know Gary Chapman has his book. He's the guy that wrote the 5 love languages.
Mhm.
Because I'm always trying to I just love to read. I'm like a lover of words, but he has a book called The 4 Seasons of Marriage. I haven't read it yet, surprisingly, but maybe he has a good technical word for the sweet spot.
No, I like the sweet spot because it symbolizes a lot of things and good things and yeah, a lot of good things. And so I'm excited to get into this topic because like you said, we've come a long way, man. And if people just knew half the story of how we got here, some of the things we went through, some marriages wouldn't last the first, not even some marriages, but the divorce rate is so high. It's like,
is it still at 50%? I always thought that was crazy.
Crazy that half the people to get married get
so
divorced.
high at 50%, especially after 2020. Like we saw so many public marriages and so many people, like even people in the church, like so many pastors and pastors' wives and just people that we know,
2020, if your marriage survived 2020, give yourself a round of applause. Because
if your marriage barely survived 2020, give yourself a round of applause.
Survived 2020, give yourself a round of applause because
that quarantine.
Yeah, you guys were quarantined. You guys, had to make sure that you were each other's friends during this quarantine, especially the first couple of months of COVID. Oh my gosh, if you survived it, give yourself a round of applause. If you're next to your partner, give them a high five.
Look, you had to be with your partner. Well, I was still working. I didn't get that. I didn't get that quarantine, that real quarantine life.
Yeah.
I still had to go to work on a regular. But you had to be with your spouse, be with your kids, like 24/7. Like you got to see what your spouse really looked like months and months without a haircut, months and months without getting my hair done.
Oh, that struggle beard is real too.
We had to really love each other for who we really, really are.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for real. But if you made it through 2020, give yourself a round of applause, man. And you made it. And so, we're saying that to say a lot of things happen in life, man. But I think I did a marriage Monday on the other day, and I said life is a roller coaster. It was something like life is a roller coaster. There's gonna be a lot of curves and dips and turns, but the main goal is to not fall off the ride. And so that's just the plain and simple of it. Life is going to deal you with a lot of things, man. But as long as you guys are working it out together and have each other's best interests at heart, and make sure you guys love each other, I promise you it's going to work itself out. But you guys got to be in it together. That's the one people always ask. How do you guys, get through this issue? How do you get through that issue? Is because we work things out together. And it's hard to be in a marriage when you're by yourself. So I do understand that. But as long as you guys work it out together, no matter what happens, you guys will survive.
Yeah, that's a good segue into, I guess, my first question I was going to ask you, what's your one advice that you would give to a listener, like somebody that's trying to get to this sweet spot or want to experience a season in their marriage where, like, it just feels good, like it's enjoyable, it feels good. I'm trying to use all the words to describe, like, where we are right now. Like, you just enjoy your spouse for who they are, like, not trying to change them, not trying to make them anything else. Yeah, so you give some advice, and I'll give
advice to the men, and you give advice to the women.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good.
Fellas, this is your turn right here, fellas, all right? Listen, this is the advice, the best advice I can give to you. And I actually gave this advice to somebody 2 days ago. Your wife needs to be your best friend. I ain't saying you got to spend all your time and all this. When I say best friend, I mean that's the person you need to be the most vulnerable with. And so when you're the most vulnerable with your wife, it's easier for her to see you when you're up, easier to see you when you're down, because you already share everything that goes on in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit with that person. So they're more apt to be able to love you when you're at your best and love you when you're at your worst, because you will always be as vulnerable with them as possible. And so the one thing women always ask men, what are you thinking right now? And half the time we ain't thinking nothing. We just chilling. Like, we ain't thinking about nothing. Like, we're literally thinking about nothing.
That is the problem.
And it's like,
that's the problem.
But if you but if you just communicate that, no, I'm not thinking about nothing, boo. Like I'm just here, I'm relaxing, I'm chilling. But women I feel women are the most receptive to you when you're being as super transparent as you can be, super vulnerable as you can be. Sometimes you're not going to have good days. You're not going to have great days all the time. Sometimes life is just rough, man. But the one person that you need to be by your side is your wife. And I say that not everybody has that that spouse they can kind of go to with everything, but in order for that you to get to that sweet spot, that part of your marriage where it's like, no matter what happens, I got you, you got me. You got to be vulnerable and transparent. Keeping secrets to yourself is not going to help your marriage. Keeping secrets between you and your friends is not going to help the marriage. You got to try your best to be as vulnerable and as transparent with your wife as possible for you guys to build any type of relationship in order to try and get to that sweet spot. All right? That's fellas.
Right.
Take heed, fellas. I'm telling you, try your best.
I like that advice. That's some good advice.
It ain't comfortable all the time, because Lord have mercy, she don't see me at my best and my worst. But it's not anything I don't share with my wife. Anything that I can't share with my wife if I'm going through something, I know she truly, truly is my best friend. So, yeah. All right, girl. Okay.
All right, ladies. Hey, girl. Hey.
Lady.
My advice to the ladies would be love your man like he is. Love your man like he is. Love your man unconditionally. And this is something I had to learn over the years. So I'm not saying I have it all figured out, but love your man the way he is. You fell in love with him for a reason. Like, you knew things that you loved when you fell in love with him. You know some things that you didn't like. And I think earlier in our relationship, I was trying to be okay.
Sorry,
I was trying to be okay. Sorry, you just like messed me up. I was trying to be I think I was trying to be your mama more than I was trying to be your wife. I was trying to change you. I was trying to tell you how to do this. I just had this idea in my mind that my husband was going to do this. He was going to be a provider. He was going to lead the house a certain way. He was going to pray over the kids. He was going to be this kind of dad. He was going to be present. I just had this like textbook picture that I've made up in my mind over the years, all the things that I wanted you to be. And some of those things you just weren't. Some of those things you've never even had the example. Like, no one's ever even showed you how to be that kind of example. So here I am just requiring all these things of you and setting all these standards when that's not even, who you are. That doesn't mean you didn't grow to be some of those things. But at that time, and in that season, that's just not, like, you didn't grow up with your dad, so you had to really learn and teach yourself. And thank God for mentors, and thank God for, his grace. Like, you really had to learn how to be like a husband and a dad. So just loving you unconditionally, giving you grace to kind of discover your way, discover yourself, discover who you are as a husband, as a father. So my advice to ladies would be love your man, love your man the way he is. Like, I knew you was throwing your stuff on the floor when I met you. Like, I knew lots of things that I did not like, but I looked past that when we were dating because I was all in love. And you was singing to me and treating me all good and whining and dining. So, like I just can't get, like, we got married and I just expected you was going to clean up. You was going to be cooking meals. We going to be doing this thing half and half.
Nope.
And no.
No.
So loving your spouse, that has really helped me to get to this sweet spot because I had to love you for who you are. Like, stop stop trying to change you. Like, I kept telling myself, like, look, Aaron serves the same God that I serve. So, you know, things that I pray about, like, I trust that God's going to speak to your heart. And we've had a lot of times, that's how I know we're like connected on another level. Like, we're really soulmates, because I've had a lot of times where I pray and I'll be like, God, like, you know, my husband ain't right in this area. Like, speak to his heart, like, show him openness, make him aware of this. And you'll come to me the same day and be like, oh my God, babe, like, I was talking to God and like he showed me that I need to work on this. I'll be like, yes, Lord, yes.
So you going to God on me.
I be going to God on you, yes. So that's gonna be my second one. Go to God on your husband. Tell God like what you need, because he's gonna speak to your husband instead of you nagging him. But we don't wanna get to that point yet. But the first point, you making me talk all kinds of stuff. But the first point is to love your husband unconditionally.
Right. And just to kind of put a sidebar on this part of it, loving your husband and your spouse unconditionally is definitely what you want to do. But I do realize there's some people who, you know, deal with a lot in marriages, and you know, we understand things happen in life, and people go through, you know, abuse, people go through, you know, a whole bunch of different things. So we just want to put a disclaimer out there. We're not saying, you know, if you're getting abused, go ahead, stick it out, girl. We're not saying that stuff. We're saying, you know, obviously use your mind, use your heart, and your common sense in marriage. You know what I mean? So when we say stuff like, you know, love them no matter what, there's a limit to no matter what as well, especially when it comes to being abused or things like that. So we're talking about loving them with their flaws that they have. The flaw, like I have a lot of flaws, but my wife still continues to love me because she knows that in my heart I love her because I show her I love her. You know, so my that love is not coming with a disrespect every other word. You know what I mean? So just know what your love boundaries are when it comes to protecting your heart and stuff like that. But we just want to put that little disclaimer out there because I know there may be people that are going through stuff that are listening to this, but we want to make sure you know to also listen to your head and your heart and know what's right and what's wrong. And some things in marriage are just wrong. So we just want to put that disclaimer out there. So take our words to heart because we want you to have a successful marriage, but also know where your limits are when it comes to what you also accept in your marriage as well. Did I say that
Thanks.
right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really. Yeah.
No, you're right.
I hope I didn't give that off when I was saying love your spouse unconditionally. Yes, everyone deserves to be loved well. Abuse is definitely not tolerated.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear because sometimes people look. Sometimes people look for stuff like, oh, that person is saying this because you really want that to be it. Yeah. But no, we're not. We're not sugarcoating anything. We're not giving you no coded messages. We're telling you, love people that love you. And so if you're interested in making love work, you got to make sure that you're being respected. Make sure you're not being abused. Make sure you're not being physically and emotionally harmed. We want you to have. This is how healthy marriages look. And so unhealthy marriages are way different. You know, that's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother time. But this is how a healthy marriage it looks. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah. Okay. I think you said it great. I'm happy that you added that to the love unconditionally. Yeah. They always say love people for who they are and not who you want them to be.
I like that. Say it
again,
Boo.
Love people for who you are, for who they are, and not who you want them to be.
Awesome.
Because sometimes I know as women, I speak for myself. Like I love people because I saw the good in them. I saw like they could be this and they could be that. They're showing me traits that they could possess this once they get to that season of their lives, or they come around to, you know, understanding that part of themselves and not really loving them for who they are, like, you know, who they show you to be, like, especially when it comes to bad traits, especially when it comes to infidelity, especially when it comes to abuse, especially when they're doing actions over and over again that hurt you, that you've told them this hurts me, and it still continues to happen. So really love people for who they, you know, for who they are and not who you want them to be or who you think they can be in the future.
Love it. What was the next question you got, Boo? Did you have another one?
Any other advice? Maybe you do something for the men. What's something else? We'll go back and forth.
Well, all right, so let's do that. All right, so another way to get to the sweet spot, we said, we're in this sweet spot right now to where, like I said, we've been together together 20, almost 21 years.
Yes.
21 years together. Woo. 21 years together,
You
but
old.
about to be 16 married, and we're still young. We're still in our 30s.
Yeah,
But,
we got married young.
but
right after college.
this is another tip for the fellas. Fellas, make sure your wife knows you love her daily. Boom. That's just the gospel right there. Every day, make your wife know that you love her, either by word or by action. Every day, make it your purpose. This is something I told somebody 2 days ago because they were asking questions about marriage and stuff like that, and I said I tried my best to make my wife feel that I love her every day, whether it be by physical touch, like my wife walked by me and I'm caressing her hand or a hand hitting her butt or something like that, whatever it is, hugging her. I try whenever I pass my wife in the house, I try and show her I love her. Kiss on the forehead, kiss on the cheek. Like I said, again, touching her, caressing her hand, telling her I love her, telling her she looks beautiful. Like, I don't just say that because I need to, do it. I say it because I mean it. Every single day I pass my wife or I think about my wife, I send her a text message or I let her know that I love her. Because at the end of the day, she needs to feel the most safe and the most loved by the person that she, decided to share her life with. And so, fellas, that's tip number 2. Show your wife affection every single day. Do not take a Saturday off or a Sunday off. I know the game be on and stuff like that. Get it out the way early.
I mean, it doesn't have to be something so crazy. Like, you got to take, like, a text message takes, like, 2 seconds to write. Like, hey, babe, thinking about you, sending hugs, sending love.
That's it.
You look so beautiful today.
Every day.
Yeah. Like, so you that's something I always say, like, I admire about our marriage and I really love. Like, you make me feel loved all the time. Yeah. Like, there's not a time that I've ever been like, oh my gosh, like, my husband never tells me he loves me. He doesn't show me. You've always been very affectionate, always been very loving. Like, I can always count on text messages. You reminding me how much I mean to you, how much you love me. So you've always. I struggled in that area initially because I wasn't really the affectionate, hugging, loving kind of person, but definitely being around you all these years, yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's a great tool to
not
only reinforce and show your wife, let her know that she's loved every day, but it's a great tool to also get what you want, fellas. So I'm just letting you know that's a great
the
way.
real reason.
It's a great way.
Okay, you being honest.
To let your wife know if she feel appreciated,
honest.
she gonna appreciate you later. And so make sure your wife feel
appreciated.
You
know what? That's the real reason, ladies. He just told on himself.
Hey, if you feel good, then if she feel good, then you gonna feel good.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Yeah.
Ladies, my advice is learn your spouse's or your partner's love language. Mm-hmm. I am all about the 5 love languages. It has been a game changer.
What's mine, boo?
In your love, your love language is words of affirmation. You want me to tell you how great you are. Oh, honey, thank you so much for getting groceries, or thank you for washing my car. You're such an awesome husband. Mm-hmm. You're so strong. I love the way you provide for our family.
So the truth.
You like me? You just like me to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I like the truth.
You like the truth. Yes. So your love language, you have 2 love languages. Words of affirmation. You want to be affirmed, and you also quality time or physical touch.
That's my physical touch.
Yes. Well, that's probably every guy's.
Come on.
But yeah. You just told on yourself. But yeah. Yeah. Learn your spouse's love language. Learn the way that they receive love, not the way that you just want to give them love. Because sometimes we love people based on the way we want to receive love. Right. And that's not always their love language. Like early in our relationship, when you were coming home from work, and I would be, if I'm off that day, if I was home with the kids, I'll be cleaning up, making sure, you like to eat, making sure food's ready, but making sure the house looks a certain way. And everything's folded and put away and looked right, because that's the way I want to be loved. Like my love language, well, I'm going to test you to see if you know my love language is, but I like things to be in order and things to look a certain way. Like when I come home from work, I want the house to be clean. Like I don't want to walk into a dirty house. And that's the way I was loving you for years. And you would come home and you would never be like, oh, the house looks so clean or the house looks so nice. Like you could care less. Like you were happy that food was there, but I was really loving you through the way that I wanted to be loved. And then I had to learn, like, you want to be affirmed. You want to, spend time with me. You want physical touch. Like those were your love language. So really loving the person, through their love language, the way that they want to be loved, not how you want to be loved.
Right. I love that. Yeah. That's good advice. I mean, ladies, I hope y'all taking notes. Fellas, take notes. We're just trying to get you guys a little bit, get you on game on how we got to this sweet spot in our marriage. And again, we don't have everything figured out,
Yeah, and it's not always a sweet spot. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, it's not, we're in the sweet spot right now because this is a season that we're in.
That's right.
Because we've learned and grown, in 2020, just made us appreciate each other. Like, life is fragile. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's great advice, boo.
What's your next advice?
I'm gonna give you one.
I'm not gonna test you and put you on the spot and ask you what's my love language.
All right, fellas.
Because you be. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, I wanted you to say what my love language is, but it's okay. I don't want you to.
Your love language is, I don't even know.
Bruh.
But, all of them. You got all every single one.
Acts of service is my love language. I love when you do things for me. The other day you bought me a book, and I was, that's like more gifts of appreciation. But acts of service, like I love, like I said, coming home and you having the bed make. I work night shifts. When I come home in the morning, like I like the bed to be made and like a nice clean room, and so acts of service, doing things for me, washing my car, filling my gas tank, like that really fills my love bank.
No, I agree. No, you're right about that. That's why I do them.
Yes, that's why you do them.
Come on now. All right, fellas.
All right, one more.
I'm gonna give you one more. Then we're gonna get out your way. We've been kind of been on this thing for a little while. We have a lot more, trust me, to give you, but I'll give you one more, fellas. Fellas, are you listening? I need you to turn up the volume real quick. All right, ladies, y'all, do your thing. While I'm talking to the fellas. Fellas.
Would you just say,
guys? So I'm just being silly. Guys, make sure that your wife can trust you. I'm going to say this again. Fellas, make sure your wife can trust you. And let me tell you how and why.
I need all them passwords.
Not even just that, but yeah, my wife has passwords and everything. But
no, I don't.
Not only that,
passwords.
but I'm talking about trust you with her feelings. That's what I'm talking about. Trust you with, yes, the regular stuff about life, yes. Give your wife the passwords, all right? Don't be funky and do dumb stuff. But your wife has to be able to trust you, and that means trust you with finances. That means trust you with her heart, trust you with her dreams, trust you with her thoughts, her feelings. And one thing that women, just speaking off of what I hear from people and different things, and even just watching different things on YouTube, whatever, just knowing women in general, when women feel that they're not validated or heard, it can create havoc in your life. And so if your wife is saying, look, I'm feeling like this, and you don't validate what her feeling is, it's the quickest way to an argument. It's the quickest way to a divorce. It's the quickest way to a separation. Your wife has to be able to feel she can trust you with everything in her life. And that means her heart, her money, her emotion, her time, her, whatever is valuable to women, they need to be able to trust you with it. And so how do you do that? One, you have to listen. Fellas, you got to listen. You have to, when your wife is saying something, listen. She says she's feeling some type of way, listen. If she's saying, I need you to do this for me because it is super, super important to me, listen and get it done. And so the easiest way, and again, she did that, because
the irony.
Yeah, it is the irony, because I know that this is what my wife needs. And so not only am I talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself as well. because my wife talks a lot.
Mm.
She talk a lot, y'all.
Oh my
And so
God.
sometimes,
Do I
you know,
though?
what? You talk a lot. And so when my wife said something, I'm starting to realize, not even start, I've been knowing this for a long time. Just listen. Listen to what she has to say and try your best to 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 not pull through. Yeah,
Yeah.
pull through. Try
I
your best to
was.
pull through with everything that your wife
Yeah.
is telling you.
Yeah.
And even if it's just you listening, listen intently, because she just wants to
Yeah.
feel her feelings to be validated, her thoughts and actions to feel validated. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and if I can just add, like, sometimes I just need you to listen, and sometimes, like, I don't need
right,
solutions. Like, I don't need you to be like, boo, you need to do this or you need to do that, because I know I could do that real quick. Like, as soon as you start telling me a problem, I'm already like problem solving in my head. Like, yo, you
right,
do this, you could do that, or you do this, or change this, or change that. Like, sometimes we just need an ear. Sometimes we just need you to listen. I was just telling my friends about this, how you've just been my rock in the last. I mean, you always been my rock, but most importantly, recently, like I really, just with everything going on with COVID and work, it's just been like mentally exhausting, like
right.
physically and mentally exhausting. I'm at the hospital, and some days I'll come home and I haven't had a good shift, and I'm just like, you just listen to me talk about work, talk about work, talk about work. You listen to me. You just let me cry it out, hug me, hold me. Like you really been my rock in this area. Like you just
Yeah,
let me. You're my safe space. You're
I heard that.
definitely you're definitely my safe space. I feel like I could just tell you anything without you judging me and trying to fix it or fix me. You just like let me be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes I need you to keep it real and be like, well, you need to do this or you need to do that, or why are
Yeah,
you allowing this to happen to you? But sometimes we just need a good ear. Like we just need our partner to just listen to us.
and
So
that, and
thank you for being my safe space.
that's probably my wife probably said it the best. Try and be your partner's safe space. That's probably better than saying that she needs to be able to trust you, which ultimately she does need to. But yeah, that's a better way to put it. Be your wife's safe space, and so I like that. And so that's what I strive to do. Do I always get it right all the time? No, no, I don't. But man,
Yeah.
you again talk my throat is all acting up.
Yeah, thank you for being my space, my safe space. I think my last one, we'll start wrapping it up. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Like we pray
Yeah,
for all the people listening. We pray for your marriages. We pray that God would lead you into a season of that sweet spot.
yeah.
We were saying before how divorce is just like so high now. I feel like I don't know, marriages are on the attack. I feel like we've both had a heart after we've been through so
Marriage is
many
hard, man.
so many things together after years and years of growing together and therapy and really trying to figure out ourselves and figure out who we are in this world with parenting and everything else that gets thrown in the mix, right?
Yep.
And you're trying to like fight for this great marriage. I don't know, it's just amazing. So I say all that to say that we're praying that you can also get to this sweet spot. And I think my last advice to get into that sweet spot would be, this is both for ladies and my fellas.
Okay.
Date night. Date night. There, I could tell the difference in our marriage when we're having a consistent date night versus like date night whenever we feel like having a date night.
Yep.
Having a consistent date night, and we've now with 2020, we've learned like our date nights don't have to be at a restaurant, going somewhere. Like we've found a good groove of having date nights right in our basement. Like right in our basement, right in our bedroom,
Wait.
like right
Yo.
at home.
If you follow, yo, I'm so sorry, y'all keep clearing my throat. But if you follow me on social media, y'all, oh my goodness. Let me tell you, my wife did for me for Valentine's Day. We were supposed to go out to get something to eat. And so I came downstairs and I had my, I'm dressed up to get ready to go out the door. And she's like, "Come on, taking so long to get ready." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I come downstairs to, because we go out the back door, and my wife turned my man cave into a restaurant. I mean, she had the red LED lights going. She had ordered food from, I love seafood, and she ordered all this seafood and and we had music playing and wine. It was just the most awesome gift ever. And
Yes,
we did
red
nothing.
dress.
Oh my God, it had
And a red dress.
the sexiest red dress on. Oh my goodness. And it took nothing but.
Dog, it took a lot. Don't say
No,
it didn't take nothing.
it
Like,
took nothing.
it took
but,
mad planning for me to pull that together.
I mean, how much planning could
But
you use to get to
no.
put on that dress? But I'm saying it took nothing to just be like, we're not going to go out and get reservations. We're going to do this right here. And it was just I was so surprised. This is the first Valentine's Day where I was just super duper surprised. And usually we don't go crazy on Valentine's Day. It's usually, other stuff.
Yeah. But after 2020, we've just been trying to celebrate.
Celebrate life, man.
Occasion. Like every day is just a celebration.
Facts. Yeah, so I mean, it took that little bit of effort just to be like, I love you. And I felt so loved. And we had dinner. We watched a movie down here on my big screen TV. We danced. We really
had a good time. That was a good Valentine's Day. And it was just right here, right in our basement. So really taking time. And it doesn't have to be all of that. Watching a movie together, making sure like it's just that once a week where you can just stop everything, stop what you're doing, and really check in with each other. Like, babe, like, how are you doing? How your week going? Like, really taking time to decompress and just come together as a couple. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk about bills. Don't talk about the kids. Don't talk about anything. Just chilling and enjoying each other's company.
That's what it's all about. And like my wife said, you don't have to do anything crazy. It's literally spending time. It's literally being like, babe, let's watch something on Netflix tonight.
And that's even if the kids are home, they're still remote. Like, you gotta get in the car. Like, I've heard some people having date nights where they literally going through the McDonald's drive-through and sitting in the car to take a breather. Right, you know what I'm saying? Because all your kids at home. You don't have I don't know how old their kids are. Our oldest kid's 14, so they could kind of watch the other kids. But we're not advocating for leaving your kids at home by yourself.
Don't leave the infant at home.
Did you see that lady on the news? She left her kids. I forgot, but they were young, like 2 years and something. She left them in a hotel while she went to work.
Wow.
That's a whole nother social service issue.
Watch your kids, yo.
But but finding that time. I mean, and trust me, I know you have a lot going on. I know there's so many other things that have to get done, that must be done. But really, like, it's a game changer. It's a game changer in your marriage. It really fills you up. It really connects you guys together. Yeah. So spending time. I know, honey, you're probably going to add a physical aspect to it.
Yeah, you better spend time.
But you better spend time.
Spend time with your spouse. Shoot. Before somebody else tries to spend time with your spouse, you better make sure you spending time with your spouse.
Oh, Lord.
Because these people out here, too. But anyway, last thing before we sign off, y'all, this is for men and women. Be your spouse's number one fan. Cheer your spouse on. Make sure your spouse know that you are in their corner. Make sure that you are their biggest fan, no matter that wants their dreams.
Make sure you're supporting their dreams.
Man, support them, and so let your spouse know that you're their biggest fan. And so that's how you gotta continue to do it, and continue to love on each other, guys. We hope that this podcast was beneficial to you guys, man. Like, again, we advocate healthy marriages. We advocate blessed marriages, and we want to make sure that you guys have a blessed marriage as well. We are just so excited for what God is doing in our marriage, and we hope that you guys have that same energy with your marriage. Baby, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Quick recap, make sure you're spending that weekly date night, whatever it is that you guys like to do together. Make sure you're carving out that time to like, it has to be on the schedule. Like, put it on the schedule, just like you put your other appointments on the schedule. Yep. Make that a necessity. Put it on your schedule. We talk about learning your spouse's love language. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what that is, or you haven't heard about the 5 love languages, it's a book by Gary Chapman. If you're not a reader, you can look it up. There's all kinds of all kinds of things on Pinterest that summarizes it and gives you examples, what they are, and examples of how to love on your partner, your spouse. What was the other advice? Trusting your
Be
partner.
your wife's safe space. Make sure your wife feels that she is loved.
Wife or husband, just
I'm giving you advice I gave.
being your spouse's safe space.
Yeah, being your spouse's number one fan. And
Yes.
well, I'm gonna try and put all this stuff in the description. Maybe some of it. Maybe during the week. That's what I'll do. During the social media next week, I'll make sure that we drop little videos on hints and stuff like that, and so that you guys can check out the podcast next week. But we'll be throwing hints all throughout the week on social media on some of the things you can do to make sure you hit that sweet spot in your marriage.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us this
Thank
week.
you
baby.
for
I
listening.
love you so much.
I love you too. I love doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you for
This is
being.
fun for us.
Yes, this is very fun for us. Thank you for being in this sweet spot with me. Thank you for doing life with me.
Appreciate it.
I love you.
Love you too. Can you go find that red dress now?
You know what? You know what?
All right, y'all. We signing off, y'all. Guys, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Follow us on our Instagram page, AP Toya Podcast. Facebook, the same, AP Toya Podcast. And if you want to be involved with our Blessing Fridays, make sure you hit up our Cash App. That's Cash App, $sign AP Toya. And all the proceeds from there go directly to you guys, which is just benefiting and blessing people on Fridays. We do these Blessing Fridays. And if you have something that you want to also bless people with, whether it's clothing, you have a business, a service you want to extend to people, hit us up, on DM, or you can email us at aptoyapodcast@gmail.com. And you guys got everything that we have now. So make sure you guys visit. And let's keep this community going. Thank you guys. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. All the stuff, man. All the social media platforms, we're there. AP and Toya.
Yes.
AP Toya.
Follow us.
Follow. Subscribe, like, comment, and and tag some of your friends too, and let them know. Look, this is a cool place to be. And we just want to show people the love of God. Show them that marriage is cool. Show them that religion is cool. Christianity is cool. And show them that being a parent is doable. So we love you guys. We hope you guys have a great week, and we will talk to you soon. Anything else, babe?
Yes, love y'all. Have a good week. Bye.
All right, family. Peace.
Now you're gonna meet a home, and you did.